What is happening, guys? You join me here on the Southwest Coast Path. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dan and I am the content creator behind the social media platforms Bimbling Books and Beer. What am I doing? I've set myself the very modest challenge of walking the entirety of the Southwest Coast Path. That is 630 miles. Yeah, massive. I've already walked 8 miles and that video is available for you to check out on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm hoping to gobble up another 10 3/4 miles from Porthtowan, which I've just walked up out of. It's very steep, it's a bit of a lung burner, but it's a beautiful little surface paradise, all the way to Godrevy or Godrevy, where the 3 mile sands start. You can see the lighthouse in the distance. Yeah, we've got a bit of a journey to go. What can you expect from this stretch? Well, I've got over 1,500 foot of elevation to do, and I've also got just over 1,500 foot of descent to go. Yeah, that's a lot of up and a lot of down. What else can you expect? Well, I have got to walk past what I think is possibly one of the best waterfalls in Cornwall. It's called Porth Cadjack Cove. It sits in between Porth and Godrevy, just before a place called Bassett's Cove. It is incredible. I have made a full video on how to access Porth Cadjack Cove about this time last year, I think. I will put the link to it up in the top of the window just here. So if you want to check out a little bit more on how to get to Porth Cadjack Cove, click that link. The water runs right off the cliff into the sea. It is absolutely stunning. So if you are walking this stretch from Porthtowan to Godrevy and Godrevy, make sure after Porth you look out for a place called Porth Cadjack Cove. It's not signposted, it's not obvious, but if you look close enough you will find it, and I will show you today how to get there. But without further ado, I am going to get a move on because, like I say, we've got 10 3/4 miles to gobble up. I hope you enjoy it. Come along with me. If you are new to my channel, then drop me a subscribe and a follow so that you can follow my entire journey along the Southwest Coast Path. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I can show you some things that you didn't know existed. Let's go and check it out. Plenty of old mine shafts there that have been capped over. For those of you that don't know and are interested, these steel pyramids that you might see on the cliff top, you can see it behind me there, are the tops of old mine shafts, and those steel grids were put there to cap them off when they were finished being used. And especially along this stretch, probably from Newquay all the way down to, I don't know, Cape Cornwall, Sen and Land's End, if not further, there are lots and lots of these. This entire coastline has been heavily mined. You can see the engine houses all the way along. And I read an article the other day somewhere that said that recently in Cornwall there was a fresh lot of 25 new mine shafts been exposed in the rain. And there were still thousands of them that were never mapped, never found, never capped. So one important thing when you're walking the Southwest Coast Path is stick to it, because you never know, you might end up falling down an old Cornish mine. Nothing better than the wind in your hair standing on a cliff top. This stretch is so wild. Wow. I tell you what, this is why I absolutely love walking the southwest coast path, and this is why I think you should too. I've walked multiple different sections of this strip that I'm doing now between Porthtowan and Godrevy, but never from Porthtowan to Porth. And every single time I come out and walk a little bit that I've not done before, I find something new that's absolutely mind-blowing. I'm down in this tiny little dip here, a beautiful, beautiful bay behind me, and I've just found another waterfall that runs right off the cliff straight into the sea below me here. This one's not accessible to get to from the bottom, but check out this location. Whilst I'm here and I'm battling with the wind, I thought I'd give you a little bit of advice as well. You might notice I've got my walking poles out, the terrain's started picking up a little bit, and if you're walking the southwest coast path, this is one of those things that I would highly, highly, highly recommend you to go out and buy. They don't have to be expensive. Mine weren't expensive, they were from Decathlon. I think I paid about £25–30 for them for the pair, which is fantastic. They're really comfortable in my hands. They've got a nice soft neoprene grip. And the most important thing is I don't have to hold them really tight because the wrist strap takes a lot of the weight. Little bit of statistics for you. Walking poles can take up to 25% of your body weight. Now, I'm quite a big lad, so if I can save up to 25% of my body weight walking up and down some of these hills, you best be sure I'm going to be getting the poles out. You don't have to carry them all the time. You can put them on your backpack when you're not using them. But for some of these more severe stretches that we're going to be walking, I would strongly encourage you to go out and get yourself a pair of walking poles. Right, it's freezing. It's really windy. That wind coming off the sea is cold. So I am going to get going. I've got quite a good slog uphill now, and then we're on the flat pretty much all the way until we get to Porth. Let's go. Yeah, let's see how I'm doing when I get up to the top of that. There you go, made it up to the top of that. That is just one of a multitude of ups and downs like that today. I'm not feeling too bad actually, which is fantastic. But yeah, if you're walking this stretch, be prepared because it's definitely going to get your lungs and legs burning. There is some incredible wildlife that you can see along here, specifically birds nesting in the cliffs, literally just behind me. Don't know if you can see it behind me, but the sky is literally filled with seagulls and kittiwakes, and they're all just riding the turbulence in this little bit of sort of quiet calm almost. The wind's really dropped off, and it's glorious here with the sun on my back. But just standing here listening to them and watching them, watching the waves roll in, it's absolutely incredible. Look at those huge swells rolling in down there as well. This is why I do what I do, and this is why I would highly encourage you to get out on the southwest coast path and get exploring. Yeah, I said there was a few up and down bits before Porthtowan. This is literally the last one. It looks a lot steeper than it is. Trust me, it's not that bad. I did it the other day with the dog. Well, there you go, guys. I've just come up it. It's, yeah, I'm puffing a bit, but it's not that bad. It's actually quite nice. Check out these waves on the coast path today. It is a heck of a swell. It's really impressive from this little stretch of the coast path because the sea comes right up to the bottom of the cliffs, so the waves are literally reverberating through the cliffs. So cool, look. What a beautiful stretch. Just coming down into Porthtowan. Oh, I cannot wait to have a coffee or something to eat. It's 3 o'clock and I've not eaten anything yet. I completely lose track of time when I'm out on the coast path. I don't know if anybody else gets like that. Anyway, this last little bit of the coast path coming into Porthtowan comes back out onto the road, and you basically just follow this road down into Porthtowan, around the harbour, and I think I'm going to grab a coffee on the beach on the front, but I'll let you know what the coffee's like when I get there. Just coming down into Porthtowan to make my way around to the coffee shop. Quite like it down in Porthtowan. My mum and dad used to own a cafe just over here. When we first moved down to Cornwall, they bought that cafe. So yeah, Porthtowan's got a pretty special place in my my memories. One thing that people won't tell you about Porthtowan is the Porthtowan pond. In the back of the harbour, there is usually a whole load of seaweed, and doesn't get cleaned or dredged, so it kind of just rots away, and it absolutely stinks. So yeah, if you're walking it during February time like I am, it's not too bad, but if you come through the height of the summer when the sun's been on it, baking that seaweed, it absolutely stinks. Right, so in a very sad turn of events, the coffee place down at Porthtowan on the front is closed. Should have predicted it really, it's the winter, but then I thought February half term maybe it might be open. Anyway, if you're walking this in season, this coffee shop does a cracking coffee. There are other places in Porthtowan to go and get a cup of coffee, but I'm going to take this as my sign that I'm not meant to have coffee today, and I'm going to have a quick stop. I've got some snacks in my bag, and then I'm going to get going because I'm heading up that afterwards. So yeah, got a fair old few miles to eat up yet before we get to Godrevy. One of the things with Porthtowan is that if you're following the southwest coast path and the tide out, you can cross the beach at Porthtowan because you go up this headland here. Which saves you a hell of a lot of incline walking through all of these houses. There is a tiny little stream to cross, which is here. But yeah, on the whole, it saves you a hell of a lot of time. What I would say though is don't try and cross the beach if it's bang on high tide, thinking, I'll be all right, I'll outrun the waves. I've seen so many people do it throughout the time that I've lived down here. And yeah, especially at this time of year, the tide line is right up to the bottom of these cliffs. Some seriously impressive cliffs down here at Porthtowan. So yeah, if you're timing it right, then you can come down and check out all these cute little caves. So yeah, if you chose to cross the beach at Porthtowan to continue on the coast path, you come up this little path here, and eventually you'll find the signs for the southwest coast path, which will take you kind of that way. There you go. There's the pony. Godrevy, 6.5 miles. Let's go get it. It's a bit of a slog walking up out of Porthtowan, but it's well worth it. There we are, Porthtowan down in the bottom, up on the coast path in the glorious sun again. And yeah, we're getting close to something really special. Can't wait to get to Porth Cadjack Cove to show you guys this waterfall properly. I mean, how incredible is that? It's just stunning. And we've reached our little hidden gem. Now, when you come to this part of the footpath, there is a waterfall right in front of you. So this below us here is Porth Cadjack Cove. And there is a waterfall over the far side that you can access, but it's not that impressive. The real waterfall is down in the bottom of this valley, and you can't really see it until you're on top of it. Let's go and check it out. So here it is, Porth Cadjack Cove Waterfall. You can see it just dropping down here. The footpath, or the coast path, heads back inland to that bridge and then up the other side, which we're going to follow in a minute. But when you're walking this stretch, it would be criminal to not go down to the bottom of this waterfall. So I'm going to show you how to get down there. So from this little junction, you're going to walk down this little bit of footpath and it takes you down onto this ledge. I'll give you a little update when I get down there. So here it is in all its glory. In my opinion, one of the best waterfalls in Cornwall. It's very windy today, so it's a bit of a strange shape, but I quite often come down here to stand underneath that waterfall. It is incredible. The access is a little path, apart from this tiny little rocky step here, which does get a little bit slippy at one end, but it's dry at the other. Just do it on your bum, take your time. If you're not comfortable, then don't come down here. But I mean, check this out. Well, here it is, guys. Porth Cadjack Cove Waterfall. In my opinion, one of the best waterfalls in Cornwall. Runs right off the cliff, down into the cove itself. It is absolutely stunning. And if you are walking this stretch of the coast path, this is an absolute must. If you want to know how to find this and you're not walking the coast path, then you could check out my social media channels, which is at @BimblingBooksBeer, where I've made a full video on how to access Porth Cadjack Cove. It was from last year, so the quality might not be what you come to expect from me, but it's well worth checking out. Alternatively, if you're walking the southwest coast path, make sure you factor in 5 or 10 minutes to come down and see this. Honestly, it is one of the most incredible waterfalls I have ever seen, especially in Cornwall, and it's well worth a visit. Absolutely unreal. I'm back up on top of the coast path, on top of the waterfall, about to tackle this, and then after that, the hill behind it. This next section after the waterfall, yeah, it's pretty demanding. So I'm going to get my walking poles out, chomp up some miles, and I'll show you what it looks like a little bit further along. This stretch of coastline at sunset is absolutely unreal. Check this out. I mean, who says walking in February is not fun? It's just mind-blowingly beautiful. There you have it, guys. I'm going to have to call it there because I am drastically losing the light. It is 6:05 in February, so I've done very well to get this far and to still have a tiny bit to film this. I hope you've enjoyed watching me walk the stretch from Porthtowan to Godrevy. I'm about half a mile off, so I'm going to go and finish this walk off. If you want to check out some more walks from the southwest coast path, then I am walking it in its entirety, so don't forget to hit subscribe to follow along on my journey. If you're going out to try this one, make sure you check out Porth Cadjack Waterfall, and if you time it for sunset, well, they're incredible. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and join me soon for some more Bimbling Books and Beer.